Hello, I am Jody Wolf, and you're watching Expoz on October 11, 2018, and 12:22 a.m. Birmingham. Topic is Hurricane Michael. Guys, that was a strange one. And if I can find it, I did a really long answer to someone's blog that was telling about it, showing pictures of it. And for the exception of a narrow 22-mile path, either side of that path didn't have but winds in the upper 40s wind speed. All the buoys coming in had the same, except for a 22, 23-mile path, which is odd. Something is happening here. And I was interested in that blog, very interested, because of one reason. Let me tell you read what I wrote myself. I brought an update because I own property in Sunnyside Beach, which is to the west of Panama City, about 7 or 8 miles. And this blog that I wrote earlier, I wrote it on, well, it redated it. I'm sorry, I can't. Anyway, on Palm Avenue, there's 96 lots, and there were 16 lots available when I went down earlier this year. And I went down, took some pictures of it, and I have a drone. I went up to get a good view of everything and took the drone out over the water, beautiful sight, and brought it back. But I had decided that at my age, it'd be better off if I sold the lot. So I'd been contemplating that most of the year until I got a letter from someone, and I liked the offer, so I was going to get back with them. And well, but here's the downside. This hurricane, and I talked to a friend of mine that lives 2 streets over, and he boarded up the windows and headed to Birmingham. He's 3 miles away from me right now, and I just sent him a long text telling him that he may not have damage. And he's 7 miles away from the edge of that 23-mile path hurricane. What happened? A 23-mile wide path going down to Mexico Beach. They didn't have but 40-mile-an-hour winds. Going to Sunnyside, the highest registered wind was 46. What's that? Wind should have been off the scale 100 miles either way of that hurricane. So Cat 4 hit Panama City Beach at noon on Wednesday, October 10, 2018. My lot price prior to the hurricane was being at this number. And I pray that there's no major damage. A YouTube blog is saying that Sunnyside winds were only 45 miles per hour. If that is true, then damage may be minor. And I've just recently decided to sell the lot, and then all of a sudden this comes up. Because of 96 lots, there's only 9 empty lots on that street. And people are wanting to buy those 9 lots. And I have one of the 9. Look, I've owned it since 1973. And I never built on it. I could have 100 times, but I just didn't. but only 15 miles away, and this is in the epicenter of the hurricane, the speed was 144 miles an hour. And while I was sitting here with a meager between average 33 miles an hour and a high of 46 miles an hour. What's the deal about that hurricane? And still, as it moves up through Georgia, it's still a narrow path. And you don't go 60, 70, 80 miles out of that path with high winds. They're just not there on either side of it. And the flood that's supposed to come in with 10-foot waves, well, it seems like that may have happened in only about a 22-mile area. Actually, half of that. It was on the east side where the high waves were that went inland a few miles. This hurricane, what I'm seeing here, urgent Hurricane Michael was a targeted strike. And I'm not reading just one of these. There are a mess of them lined up here talking about this is a targeted strike. It's crazy, guys. It's really crazy. I just go by one thing. I read the verse that God controls the weather. God alone controls the weather. However, in the end days, you see all these things occurring, including weather that has gone crazy, a change of seasons. Look, right here in Birmingham, we've been in blistering heat. I mean, it's been hot and not letting up. We've been 85, 90, 92, 94 degrees carrying on here now for 3 months. And guess what? Tonight, the low's going down to 68. Got about 4 degrees to go before we hit there. Tomorrow night, Thursday night, the low is 50 degrees. And it stays in the 50s the next 3 weeks with the highs in the low 70s. And I'm okay with that. I like that. But it's the hurricane that's got my goat right now. And I think the lady may be on to something. And something else, I took a screenshot of it. I should have taken a camera shot of it. In fact, I'll blow it up right now and take a camera shot of it and let you see. And one thing that she brought up on this thing was what it looked like to her. All right, I'm going to take a camera shot and I'm going to let you see it. What does this look like to you? If you look at the hurricane, can you see it there? I don't know if you can see the green. But if you look on either side of it, on the west side, it's straight as an arrow going up above it. And then the right side, it's at an angle, but it's still fairly straight where it's going through Georgia. In the bottom, you have that round, perfectly round, all CNI that you have on the dollar bill. This is what it looks like. Right now, what I'm looking at, this is what it looks like. So I don't know. I'm going to have a little bit more about this, especially the damage that I received from it, that it hit Panama City And I'm exactly 7 miles from the left of the eye wall, from the west of the eye wall. And so I'll tell you the kind of damage that we got on Palm Avenue and in Sunnyside in a couple of days. Jody Wolf, Expoz.